Now let's take you to Ekiti State, where Muslims in Nigeria have been advised to see the wearing of hijab as a divine instruction from Allah rather than a cultural practice or personal preference. This message formed the focus of discussions on the 2026 World Hijab Day celebration held in Ekiti, the state capital. Adiola Aderibigbe has this story.
It brought together Islamic scholars, lecturers, and Muslim faithfuls who gathered to reflect on the spiritual, moral, and social significance of the hijab in Islam. Organizers said the program was aimed at strengthening understanding of the hijab, especially among young Muslims, while also engaging the wider public.
It teaches faith, respect, modesty, dignity, and the good character. The hijab is our pride, our rights, our strength, and our identity. So our students, she encourages you to be good ambassadors of Islam.
Speakers at the event addressed what they described as widespread misconceptions surrounding the use of the hijab.
Hijab does not mean the brain is covered. You can be the best. We have hijabis as doctors, you have them as baristas. I'm a professor of finance. So it is not a matter of somebody being backward or what does he or she have in the brain. And at the same time, however, hijab itself conceals. When you talk about it meaning concealing, is as a result of you have to be bashful. And as a hijabite, you shouldn't be found wanting.
They explained that contrary to popular belief, the hijab does not limit the rights and ambitions of Muslim women. Instead, they said it empowers women to be judged by their character, intellect, and values rather than physical appearance.
It's a misconception on this hijab because of ignorance. Many people in our society today misconstrue the true meaning of hijab. Hijab is a dress that is that was commanded by Almighty Allah.
The 2026 World Hijab Day celebration ended with a call on Muslims to remain steadfast in their faith and on non-Muslims to seek proper understanding of Islamic practices, as organizers expressed hope that continuous dialogue will help promote peaceful coexistence and mutual respect. Adiola Aderibigbe, TVC News, Ekiti.
Adiola Aderibigbe joins me on News from the States. Adiola, World Hijab Day is often misunderstood in public discourse. From what you observed in Ekiti, what core message were organizers trying to pass across beyond the act of wearing the hijab itself?
Oh, thank you, Ibrahim. I've observed that the event, the organizers were very clear. They were trying to educate the young Muslims that hijab is not just a piece of clothing, but an act of faith as directed by the Almighty Allah in the Holy Quran. They want young Muslims, young female Muslims, to see the hijab as a choice, as purity that promotes dignity, and at the same time that helps in solving some of the societal problems that the country is battling with. So it's just basically an Muslims to gather and discuss the choice of using hijab in the country.
Why was Ekiti State chosen for this year's celebration, and what does that say about religious engagement and tolerance in a predominantly mixed faith environment?
Well, the World Hijab Day is an annual celebration observed across the world. For this year's edition in the Ekiti State was organized by the National Council for Muslim Youth Organization, NACOMIO, and it was to promote religious tolerance among various religions in the Ekiti State. In the Ekiti State, we have the larger population of Christians, Muslims, and at the same time, there are others who practice other religions apart from Islam and Christianity. So in Ekiti, the message was very clear: religious tolerance, peace, and unity, promotion of peaceful coexistence among various religious groups in the state. That was the key message at this year's event.
Well, so young Muslims were a major focus on of the program. What strategies were discussed to ensure that younger generations understand hijab as a conscious faith, the faith choice, rather than a social pressure?
So young Muslims were educated. They wanted to use this opportunity of the World Hijab Day to educate the public as well, to let them know that the hijab is not just a piece of clothing. They want them to understand that in Nigeria, that various religious groups have various directions that were given to them by the Holy Quran and by the Holy Bible. So the message was very clear. They're trying to promote peaceful coexistence, religious harmony as well was one of the key messages to the young Muslims in the state. And that they also want to use that avenue to engage with people from other religious faiths, to let them understand that the hijab does not limit the ambition and the success of everyone.
Absolutely. Adeola Aderibigbe, thank you so much for your reporting. Beautiful reporting there. Thank you. Precious, you know, the hijab debate has always been on, you know, for several years. You see people who, some schools who will be telling them do not wear hijab, and others will be claiming that wearing hijab is a form of oppression, which others have been saying, no, it's not. Because we've seen people with PhD, people coming out first class, and all of that. It's actually a religious injunction rather than social oppression, as some people would say.
Yes, so it's not just in Nigeria. I think, you know, even in the Arab community, we find that it's also a debate. Some people are seeking for, in quote, more freedom, and they think that, you know, not wearing a hijab means that, you know, that's freedom. And for a lot of people, it's westernization. And so you find that that debate is on. I don't know, so I am not an authority, you know, on Islamic issues, but I have seen some of we have some of our colleagues here who wear hijab, lovely, intelligent people. Really intelligent people, very intelligent. And so I don't think that should be a problem in this day and age, if you really get to know the person.
In fact, some people will say, if you're concerned about hijab, when they paint saint people like Mary, mother of Jesus, you know, who was born immaculately, or you go to the nunnery, you see, you know, the Catholic wearing, you know, very similar thing. So why should it be a problem that some people who profess in Islamic religion should, you know, be criticized for wearing hijab just because they are following the dictates of their religion?
Well, I think that's a conversation that the Islamic community needs to continue to have.
That's right.
You know, and so that everyone is carried along and understand the significance of the hijab. Thank you so much, Ibrahim, for news from the States. And that's TVC News